don't know if that constitutes as a game in there.
I don't know if that made it onto the YouTube, but that's okay. We're sorry, YouTube, in advance.
Man, all of our monetization, man.
Listen, I'm just here to ruin everybody's day.
It's God. It's out of here.
God. The only thing more puzzling than monetization is this fantastic list of puzzle games. Today on...
Wow, you just sideswiped me with that intro. I didn't even know we were doing it.
Yeah, well done. Don't sideswipe over the intro.
Yeah. Segue over the intro instead. That's how we do it. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Press Me to Cancel, your favorite retro gaming podcast, at least the ones that are out on Fridays. I am your host this week, Sick Jake, and this week we got a pretty busy episode, and I'm joined by three good friends, Jard, Sinistar, Wolf. Everybody say hi at the same time.
Hi.
At the same time.
That's perfect. There we go.
Wolf and I got the assignment.
At the same time.
Wow. This week we are going to be going back to one of my favorite topics, which is deciding the four pillars of a genre. This week it's the four pillars of the puzzle game genre. If you're not aware, this is what I would call a Mount Rushmore if I was American, but I'm not. I'm Canadian. We got bagged milk and we got pillars. Fuck your Mount Rushmore. We're looking at the puzzle genre from old to new. I don't care when this game came out. If it's a puzzle game, we are going to make a short list of our favorites and picks and talk a bit about them. And then we're gonna somehow whittle that list down to just the core four puzzle games that represent that genre. If aliens invade next week and E.T. demands, what is he like? Is he the Rubik's Cube guy? Anyway, if it demands video games or we die, and he wants puzzle games, we're gonna give him the four that best represent the genre. So that's not necessarily the best puzzle games, the best that represent the genre. And no franchises. We're not gonna pull punches here. We're talking specific games as well. So there's just no like columns. I want columns to the Game Gear, for example. I want specific. So I think we're good to go. So I'm gonna pull up our short list. Legend of Zelda. Who the fuck put that there? That's not a puzzle
Our short
game.
list seems awfully short.
It's very short.
Well, we have to put stuff there. What is this white space? Why did you guys break my spreadsheet in the first 5 minutes of the show?
White space.
What did you
That's
guys
how
do?
we roll, dude.
Just a gray bar. That's great for the audio listeners.
All
right.
There's something else written in there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Make me click over it.
It's fine.
I can't even read it. It's blank.
You're blank.
Anyway.
Yeah,
I'm blank. I'm gonna have to edit this in post now. Thanks, guys. Give me a puzzle game. Let's put some puzzle games on this list.
Let's start with the Big Daddy, Tetris.
I don't think it belongs in this list. I don't think Tetris belongs. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So here's where I'll give my
we're
reasoning.
just starting out fucking swinging. Someone said bag milk and Jake threw the gloves on the floor and said, let's
go. Might be a bit curdled. You know, somebody left it out on the counter. They didn't put it in the fridge and it just went bad.
It
Here's
just
my
rolled
argument.
off the counter like a bag does.
That's bags. They kind of roll if they get the momentum going. End over end. Here's my thing. If we were to do an episode on the pillars of board games, would you add chess?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You think chess?
It's a game on a board. Game played on a board.
It's the board game, my friend.
That's the argument. It is like, to call chess a board game, to me, almost cheapens it. Chess is chess. Chess is more than a board game. Chess is fucking chess. And in that same spirit, I think Tetris is fucking Tetris.
Yeah, that's semantics there, my God.
You're arguing semantics now. Like
I was curious to hear what your logic would be. I think you missed the mark. And so Tetris belongs
and I
on the
don't
list
like
because you failed your argument.
But Tetris is beyond pillars. Tetris is like the foundation of pillars.
Yeah, okay, so
the pillars go on
the
top
mountain.
of that foundation.
Tetris makes and breaks the pillars line by line.
Mountain of that Mount Rushmore sits on.
This isn't a list of games that were inspired by Tetris episode. Okay, this is all the puzzle game and encompassing all, which would be Tetris.
Ultimately, as the speed increases, what do you end up making in Tetris?
A mess.
A foundation.
A pillar.
Puzzle. Yeah, you make pillars.
I don't know. I thought the mess was good.
Listen, I was trying to be nice. I was trying to make things easier on everybody because there's a lot of great puzzle games and having one pillar automatically go to Tetris, it's going to make it hard for the other three. But I'm fine with Tetris. I love Tetris.
I don't.
Yeah, but there's
disagree.
games within the Tetris genre that could, I doubt it, but it could usurp it. I mean, Dr. Mario.
Well,
Columns.
I was going to say, the match 3 games are essentially Tetris clones.
Right.
No.
The Dr. Mario is a Tetris
The
clone.
Jewel?
It is not.
Candy Crush?
It is totally different. Yeah. It's a puzzle game, but the match 3 is not Tetris. Tetris is making lines, sir. That's
I understand.
Crazy.
It's a derivative of Tetris.
It's not. It's no. It's its own thing. The only thing that has in common with Tetris is things are falling, and then everything else is different. You're matching things. You're not making.
Are our ratings. What else?
Dr. Mario is definitely one to consider.
All right, throw Tetris off the list. No one's going to listen to our podcast ever again.
Okay, if we do, if you want to start with Tetris, I'm cool with that. But what version of Tetris would we want to put on here? We can't have more than one Tetris on pillars. I
would argue, as Game much Boy. As I absolutely love the ability to stash a piece, I love that so much. I would argue that most people, when they're going to think of Tetris and their initial world of Tetris, it is the NES Tetris.
I'd say Game Boy, personally, but that's me.
That's a good one, too.
What about Tetris Effect?
I'm partial to Tetris for Game Boy.
I love Tetris Effect. I think Tetris Effect is great. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with Wolf. I think it needs to be Game Boy, because am I wrong when I say that the first Tetris was on Game Boy?
You are wrong.
Yeah.
Was it on Game Boy first?
The first was on computer in Russia, my friend.
Oh, yes, Jesus Christ.
The Soviet
was that before it was
computer.
Consumed by the consumers, or is that
I think
where
it came
built
to the
it from?
I think it came to the NES.
Technically, it was built on a Linux system. Fuck off. That's not what I'm asking.
Linux didn't
The first
exist
time I
then.
played it was
I
not
think it
on
was
a
Unix
Russian
actually,
computer.
Char,
It was
but
not a
that's
fucking
I'm
Game
actually, it's okay.
I think it did come to NES before it came to Game Boy.
I think so.
I want to check that.
And there's also 2 versions on NES, right? You had the Nintendo
Talk amongst yourselves.
approval one,
you
and
had
then
you had the
Tetris.
Taito.
It was a licensing nightmare because nobody knew who really had the licensing rights for what.
Yeah.
So, but I think there was versions that were commercially available in the West before Game Boy.
Yeah. There's a great game compilation. I shill for these guys all the time. Digital Clips did Tetris Forever, which is a compilation of the history of Tetris. A lot of interviews and images and behind the scenes good stuff, and a bunch of ports of Tetris. Sadly, not the big ones, like the NES and Game Boy ones are not there, but there's a bunch, including the original recreation, emulation of that Soviet era computer one. Tetris Forever is great. I'll say Tetris Effect with the music and the atmosphere is legendary, but I think I would also lean toward Tetris on the Game Boy. That's the one I think I have the most nostalgia for. I played the hell out of it on the Game Boy. It was the killer app for the Game Boy, and think it plays better than the NES.
Cable. And it used the link cable,
which is pretty neat.
Wasn't it also a pack-in?
Yes. Which
I think that's why it has the most sales of any version of Tetris at 35 million units.
They were released at the same time for both the NES and the Game Boy at the same time in 1989.
All right.
That's why I thought it was first, because when I bought the Game Boy, it came with Tetris. And I remember in the movie, they said they want to package this game with their newest release for the portable console on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they both were for the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Game Boy. I thought it was Game Boy first, then it traveled over to the NES from there. So
I was
good.
Right. I'm good with NES or Game Boy as far as that pillar. I'm good with either one. Okay. I do have very fond memories with that link cable of fucking your friends over.
Yep. That's just how you do it.
Yeah.
Get that out of here. So that's a good segue, Char. Thank you. Char was holding up a copy of Legend of Zelda, which does have puzzle games in it. So do we consider that a puzzle game? I don't think we do.
No. I think there's puzzles within it, because we could argue a lot of things. Like I was telling you guys before we started, most of my knowledge in puzzle games are based on Silent Hill and Resident Evil, where there are puzzles in there that help you progress, but that's not what the game sole motive is. It's not.
The game is an RPG first.
Yes.
with
Right.
puzzle aspects.
I'd even argue action adventure
Yeah.
with puzzle.
Well,
aspects.
I'm saying Legend
yeah.
of Zelda or
Yeah. That
you know,
me too.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not Myst, where Myst is literally what should be on the list. It is nothing but puzzles. It is entirely puzzles. Because I'd also argue, if we're talking about like PC puzzle games, and you guys kind of poo-pooed this one when we talked about it, but I think King's Quest is a pretty hefty puzzle game, though it is an adventure point and click. Yes, and it is primarily an adventure point and click. The game is mostly puzzles to progress into the next thing. You could argue that Myst is also kind of first-person adventure with puzzles in it because of how it's laid out.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, if we're gonna, I was gonna bring up at some point, and this as much as I've had problems with this game, I feel like Blueprints is
Okay.
kind of a modern version of Myst. Like,
yes.
you transition
degree,
from
yeah,
area to area, and there's, I mean, it's not exactly the same, but
Right.
it's a
I would
very
argue-
similar.
I'd
It has
argue
enough.
Blueprints is a puzzle game. I would argue that it belongs on this list.
Is a puzzle game for sure.
There you go.
It's a different type of puzzle game too, though, because they're the ones that you need you kind of want to have a notebook or something available
right.
to keep track of certain things as you progress, because some of the puzzles are a lot more meta. And I know
Right.
Myst was the same way. There
Yeah.
were puzzles
Yep,
that were
Riven
like,
and Myst are the same
the
way.
solution
Yep.
wasn't always right here. You had to wander around, dig about, keep track of different things,
Yep.
piece the puzzle together yourself before you could solve the puzzle.
Like,
Yep.
if I can't die in this game, it's a puzzle game.
I have
If I can't
have-
die, it counts.
I have a big potential here. And since you're saying it can't be franchises, it has to be specific,
Yes.
I am going to say Portal 2.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
I
I'd
would say
Portal, yes. I'd say Portal, absolutely.
And Portal 2 was the better game.
For sure.
Any columns?
Which one's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, columns, yeah, for sure.
I
We'd
would
put it there.
definitely say, Portal 2 for sure, because that is
Yep.
almost all puzzle. It's
I'd
jumping
argue-
puzzles, but it's puzzles.
It's
Well, yeah,
puzzle.
you got to figure your way out of the box, right?
It's a puzzle
next
with a
area.
story. It's a puzzle with a story behind it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
could
I'm
I
not
argue
saying
that Portal 1 is more of a puzzler than Portal 2? Because Portal 2 had like an actual story. Not the
Yeah.
Portal 1, but it seemed like it was more fleshed out in 2 than it was in 1. And 1 was
Yeah.
taken from a group of people that were using the Half-Life engine to make this game.
And I thought about that, and I would argue that the additional mechanics that were added to Portal 2, like the ability to spray the different goos on the ground or walls or whatever, made it even more puzzly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that we can't have games with story, and I absolutely think that we should have at least a pillar devoted to puzzle games that are more adventure-like, but are still focused on the puzzle. So I think absolutely,
Yeah.
Myst, I think, is a good one. I think Blueprints is also a good pick. Portal 2, I don't know if Portal 2 is the same vein as those two, but I think Portal 2 is an excellent pick as well. I really like Portal 2. So I think Portal 2 is definitely one to go for. But is there any other games that are like Blueprints or like Myst? The Witness, maybe? I only played a bare amount of The Witness.
Is a good
The Witness
option.
is also very much like that. I did beat that one. I didn't complete all the puzzles. I completed most of them, and oh my goodness, that was definitely difficult.
Because that's
What
the
was
game where
that,
you look at a scene and it's just the puzzles, like you said, are very meta. It's not just what's in front of you. It could be like the landscape is shaped a certain
You have to
way.
get
and that's
the
a puzzle.
angles
Yeah.
right, and you
Yeah.
have to, uh-huh.
Yeah, using the
What was
environment.
that, there was a game that Jake loved and Wolf did not love, and you guys did an episode about it. And it was the animals that changed, and there was, it was a
Animal
jumping
Well.
puzzle game.
Animal Well.
Animal Well, yeah. Would that one be considered a puzzle, sort of? Or like Celeste, like something like that? That's an indie game that, I mean, shit, you could
Celeste
argue.
is kind of jumping puzzles too, isn't it?
Yeah, you
Is
could
that
argue that
platforming puzzles?
the ninja game that we love. God, I'm having a stroke today. I
Not
can't
the
remember.
messenger. No,
Yes,
I think
could
we're
just
No,
see
not
good
the
game.
Messenger.
All right,
The Messenger is an action platformer.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
I
it's
think
fair.
even Celeste is a precision platformer. I mean, it's puzzle-ish, but I don't think for this
Yeah,
episode we
the
would
puzzle
do Celeste.
doesn't come into play until you're trying to collect the
Ooh.
strawberries, which is technically extra content.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sinstress just threw down.
Tunic.
Tunic, I love fucking
I
Tunic.
thought about Tunic, but
Tunic can count because you can turn the action shit off of that and make it purely a puzzle game if
That's
you
true.
choose to do so.
And,
That
Yeah.
is an
I know it
accessibility
compares
thing
to
that allows
Zelda,
that.
but it's totally not Zelda.
It's not
It's not.
Zelda.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Only the front half compares to Zelda.
Honest to God, the tunic is the only thing that's Zelda related. Everything else is not.
The green shirt, yeah.
The green shirt
That's
is
it.
as Zelda as it gets.
Yeah, you might as well call it Elden Ring.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
'cause
not
that,
wrong.
that one was secretly serving you puzzles through a lot of the game that you didn't
Oh,
even realize
yeah.
until
Right.
a certain point. Because
Like-
it was giving you puzzles the whole time. You just don't know it until a
Yeah,
couple
I
hours
think-
in. You're like, wait, I'm supposed to be solving things.
You
I've
get
been
you
getting
get
hints
that
and didn't know it.
you get that movie zoom out view where you're like, wait, this is a puzzle the whole time.
Yeah.
Our,
Tunic is
our
the game
thing for
where
Brothers
at the
Thing
end
that
game is
has
they
the puzzles in it.
well
Yeah.
the pillars. Speaking of pillars,
Yeah.
the yellow monolith. Tunic is a game where they were hiding puzzle elements in the sound files. It was like a
Oh,
meta
yeah.
thing over
Yeah.
top of everything. That's how deep
Right.
Tunic goes. Like it's not just a game. It was like a whole ARG thing on top of it. Like the language, the manual, the whole to get to unlock the true ending was a puzzle.
The manual is a puzzle in and within itself. I love that a lot.
Tunic's a really
If
good pick,
we're-
Sintress. Thank you. Yeah,
if
that's a
we're
good pick.
hiding puzzles,
Yeah.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that a
can't
visual
speak to that
novel?
one. I've not
I have
played it.
not played it.
It is
So-
a visual novel that, like, basically you start exploring the actual code files, and it is hiding shit in there. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to throw it on any of the pillars, but it's worth noting if you want to
Okay.
play
I mean,
a
if we're-
visual novel that fucks with your brain and is a puzzle behind the
That's a
scene,
fucking
Doki
crazy
Doki
thing.
Literature Club.
Like, I mean, listen, if we're going in that vein, fucking Pony Island. I
Yep.
mean, that whole game's like Welcome to the Game and Pony Island. Like those are definitely puzzle games because you got to solve
Yeah.
shit to move on to the next whole thing. I think Pony Island is a great puzzle game. If we're gonna talk
Getting a
about
sequel
that,
soon too. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah.
All right. We haven't thrown a match 3 on there yet. So Bejeweled or
Dr. Mario, I think, would be the match
Dr.
3
Mario.
one.
okay,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking more.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's fine.
Puzzle Quest, actually. If you want to look at
Puzzle
Bejeweled, I would
Quest,
say Puzzle
yeah.
Quest is the ultimate Bejeweled. Is that if that
Yeah.
works?
Okay.
Although I
Yeah.
think people would argue that Candy Crush was bigger, but
Yeah, I guess we can't not mention Candy Crush.
I mean, we
They're
can.
all-
That's huge.
they're all match
We can't be
threes,
better
and-
than that. I'm just saying. You know.
Is it not puzzly enough for the puzzle club?
Yeah.
Plants-
No.
Plants vs Zombies. Is that a puzzle
Plant-
game or is that a tower defense?
No, that's tower defense.
That's
More of an-
tower
yeah,
defense.
it's more tower defense. Yeah. I was gonna say RTS, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Picross.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
Picross.
yeah!
Which
Yeah,
one would you
okay.
say is the best
Minesweeper.
of that?
Okay,
I would
for me,
argue the Picross for the 3DS. The 3D one was, to me, was the most puzzly of them all.
I like that one a
Yeah.
lot. Mario Picross?
I do like Mario's Picross, and the closest one of them I've played to that since then is the Picross S games that were all on the Switch. There's a
Mhm.
bunch of them, but Picross S, like there's 6 or 7 of them, I think. But yeah, those were really good. Yeah, the 3DS one was probably the hardest.
I loved it. I adored it.
Mm-hmm.
What about like WarioWare? Would we consider that?
That's
Even though
mini game. That's mini
it's
game.
like
games.
eight-
Yeah, it's mini games.
intensified, but it's still
That's mini
there's
games.
puzzles, yeah.
That's shake your hand really hard for 30 seconds.
Alright.
Yeah.
Oscar brings up one that I threw on our initial chat list: Adventures of Lolo.
Yes,
Yes.
Lolo.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Adventures
I'm going to
of
put
Lolo for
the
sure.
third one only because I think out of all three,
I never played the third one.
it's more fleshed
I
out
knew
with
of all
stages.
three. I don't think I've only played I think I've only played the first one because that's the one I had.
I've played 1 and 2.
I like Lolo. I also think
You put
the third one has
Adventure
bosses.
Island, my friend. That's the wrong. That is not the right.
Yeah,
Who
how
are
did
you?
that happen?
How did we get Adventure of Lolo? And
Guys,
It's the Lolo
Adventure
3,
Island
man.
3?
guys,
You even
it's been a
need
week.
Adventures of
3 on
Lolo.
there.
No,
It's been a
I
week.
love it. I love it because I'm over here going, so like this is troll puzzles. This
Yeah,
Adventure Island.
fucking Crisco feet.
I'm tired, man. Crisco, look
Yeah,
at them,
you're
let them gams go. I would say that I like Lolo for this list because one of the biggest impacts on the puzzle genre is I think it was called Sokoban, which is the idea of moving boxes in specific orders to clear a level. Lolo is Sokoban to the next level, so that's why I really like the Lolo games.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to argue that Zelda is a puzzler, Lolo is the one that took that with all the moving pieces, right?
I think,
Right.
I think Lolo is what Zelda should have been if it was a puzzler. So, I would argue that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then Zelda
Okay.
2 fixed everything. So,
Yeah.
Well, we got to put this on the list, even though we all suck at it. Baba is you.
That is
I
a
suck
game
so
with
bad I've never even played it. So,
that is a
I know
game
nothing
with
about it.
like the biggest hockey stick difficulty I have ever seen.
Hey,
Like
So-
the first level, you're like, oh, this is great. This makes sense. Blah blah. Second one, oh yeah,
Well,
and then
logic
all of a
my way
sudden,
through all this shit.
yeah, and then all of a sudden you're like,
what the hell?
huh?
What the
Well,
hell?
it's been a few years since that came out, and there's maybe people who don't know what that game is. Can somebody give like a couple lines on what Baba Is You is?
It's a really
think
hard game.
Lolo with coding elements.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Right.
there's some you can replace words, you can change words, but so it changes aspects of the screen based on the things that you change.
Yeah, you line up like objects
Uh-huh.
and results of the object.
Yeah.
So literally one of them is Baba is you. And so if you move to where Rock is you, now you're not the little pig dog thing running around. You are, or the cat or whatever it is. Now you're controlling rocks.
Yeah.
So you can affect like what is death, what is goal, what is like different things like that. Because sometimes you have to meta the puzzle to make the goal something different, to make you something different,
Yeah.
to make something not wall, so
Like
it's really wild, but it's definitely programming logic at its
Like
core.
one of
And
the puzzles I think is literally you move Baba is goal and you instantly win the
Yeah.
level. Like it's that kind of weird mind trippy stuff. It's pretty cool. But,
and
hard
in a
as fuck.
similar vein, Scribble Knots is a very similar style of game. It's not replacing things, but it's bringing things into the game that you can, like, it's the parser is just vast quantities of items, and so you can essentially be like, I want a crayon in this scene, and a crayon shows up, or I want a whatever.
Cthulhu. And
So,
Cthulhu will
yeah,
pop up.
yeah.
I want a time machine,
yeah.
and it actually does
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's pretty funny how much
Yeah.
how much they thought of to throw in that lexicon of stuff you can pull up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about well, if you've played this, but like the We Are Here games, or
Oh yeah, we were here.
We Were Here, yeah.
We were here together. We were here forever. There's a new one coming out. I'm so excited. Yes, those are very puzzle. Interestingly, those take the first person puzzler aspect and sort of twist it on its head a little bit because it's they are required to be 2 players. And it is asymmetric puzzling. So you'll each be in your own rooms and have to sort of like solve each other's puzzles with one another.
That's
'Cause
cool.
You might have clues for the other person's puzzle and vice versa. Or, it might be that they have clues for a puzzle for you and you're kind of stuck and they're helping you. You solve that and now you've got clues for theirs.
Nice.
And then they'll flip a switch and now both of your doors open and you move on to the next part. Yes,
about,
that's absolutely the We Were
that's-
Here games.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I love Portal 2 as well. Is the
Yes.
multiplayer in Portal 2 is some of the best puzzling I have ever played.
Yeah.
I'd argue
Completely
that
separate
keep
campaign.
talking,
Yeah.
keep talking, and no one explodes. It's a puzzle
That's
game.
a really good puzzle game actually, and a very unique one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I actually do have something to say about this episode. I'm
It's a
knocking it
puzzle-
out of the
it's a-
park today. Huh?
It's a puzzle game that requires a manual.
Yes.
Yeah.
does.
It almost
It's
feels
someone
like
yelling at
somewhere
you.
between a video game and a board game with its formatting.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely a puzzle game because it's a social puzzle game.
Yeah.
You
Keep
have to
talking or your
communicate
marriage
with
will
one each
explode.
Okay, wait. Lemmings.
Lemmings.
Oh,
yeah.
how can we forget Lemmings? God, Lemmings is so good. The music in that was good too. Lemmings is
Bust
great.
a move.
Fuck, that's another one I like too. I used to play it in the arcades all the damn time. That first Bust a Move is very original.
Yeah. Which,
Bust a
of
Move
course,
is a
was, I
matching-
guess,
it's a
originally
match 3,
called...
but it's puzzle. Well, it's not even match 3. It's just
It-
matching colored bubbles, but you have to shoot at it, right?
Well, I think it originally was even called Puzzle Bobble.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then...
I almost always call it Puzzle Bobble. I never refer to it as Bust a Move.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
It's got the characters Bub and Bob from Bubble Bobble, right?
Yeah.
Puzzle Fighter.
Shit. Street Fighter
Yeah.
1.
It's,
Yeah.
So that's almost like Puyo
it
Puyo.
adds a layer too,
No.
though, because
It's like Puyo Puyo. Yeah.
Yeah.
but Puzzle Fighter lets you build bigger blocks. Does Puyo do that?
I don't remember.
Yeah, bigger
not played enough
chains.
Puyo Puyo.
Not necessarily blocks, but you can have longer chains of blobs.
Sinstress and
What
I
about-
would call the blocks chodes. We'd be like making a chode.
Wow. What about
Merv
Chess Master
mentioned-
for the NES?
What's that?
Merv mentioned
Chess
Brothers:
Master.
A Tale of Two Sons. Have any of you guys played that? I've
I
only
haven't.
played like 45 minutes of it.
That's the
Nope,
guys
I
that did
haven't.
Split Fiction and Divorce Simulator. It Takes Two, I think, right? Those are all great games, but I have not played enough of them, I think, to put up for me to vouch for. But have you guys played those?
No, I also haven't played. Jeff said Deliver Us the Moon. It's actually on my wish list. I haven't played it.
I
Also
played
threw
Divorce
down-
Simulator once.
yeah. Yeah, I did that
played
too.
the real game.
2002.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
succeeded. I succeeded at Divorce Simulator.
Yeah. You can win that game. It can happen.
Yes, you can.
I'm
Guys, there's a
trying
lot
to
of games
think
here.
anything else. Yeah,
We're screwed.
Bomberman.
the list is pretty overwhelming already.
Is Bomberman a
already.
puzzle?
Uh,
Eh,
I like
no,
Bomberman, but-
I
would-
think it's a
Is
little
it a
more.
hyped up Lolo though?
I
mean,
no, I think it's a little
No.
more action than puzzle. I think it's a little more action than
yeah.
puzzle.
It depends on the entry, but even then, it's still more action and response than it is puzzle.
Like I thought about throwing in Load Runner, but I think Load Runner is more action than puzzle.
I think Lode Runner and Bomberman would be like in the same
Yeah.
genre if we did an episode on those kind of games. Lost Vikings. Have you guys played Lost Vikings?
I have. That's
have
the one where
not.
you change characters and they each
Yeah.
have their own abilities. Yeah.
Unfamiliar. with
Um,
them.
Really? That
I mean, I
game's
know
really
of it.
good.
I just never played it.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Genesis version has extra stages. If anybody's,
I believe
wants to
that
try
is
one
a
out.
Blizzard game. I believe that's a
It is.
Blizzard game.
Yeah. Yeah. They have the Vikings have cameos in World of Warcraft and Rock and Roll Racing. That's,
I would
that's one of those franchises I
anticipate
wish they would go back to.
Vikings being in a blizzard.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I have one for you guys. What about Braid?
Oh, yeah. That's a
Okay.
time
Yes.
puzzler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's from the
Okay.
guy who did The Witness.
I mean, if we're going to
Yeah.
throw that down, we have to throw down Fez.
I never played Fez. I've heard
Yeah.
so much good things about it being similar to Tunic in terms of like the mind fuckery with the puzzles.
Yeah. Fez and Tunic had a lot in common. Fez was very good. It's unfortunate that Phil Fish was an ass, but
Yeah.
Fez was very good.
Well,
Yeah, that guy jumped the shark. Like he personally jumped the shark.
He's like Fonzie.
I mean, the guy who did
Also
The Witness is
personally
also
jumped
not
the
that
shark.
great of a guy either. So it's sometimes you get people to make a good puzzle game. You got to be a prick, I guess. It's just
All right, gentlemen, I'm drawing a line in the sand, though. I think we could spend 4 hours taking suggestions and thinking of games.
We could. Yeah.
I think we need to start whittling our list down. It's like 25 long.
Yeah. Like, what do we think are locks? I think Portal 2 has got to be definitely one to consider for sure.
I would
I'm with
argue
you.
that that's my favorite Portal game, or that's my favorite puzzle game. I would
Well, it's
argue
also
that
your
that's my
Inherently, also your favorite
Yeah.
Portal game.
yeah.
So,
Although I do
understandable.
love the first one. The Cake is a Lie was like the biggest awesome thing that ever happened in video gaming. But they made it better with Portal 2.
Right.
I think I try to like give some kind of fake scientific reasoning for these damn pillars. So we obviously have a Tetris pillar, but I think it makes sense to have one that is a adventure puzzle game in the style of Myst. It doesn't have to be Myst, but Blueprints, Myst, Riven,
The
what else do we have
Witness.
here? The Witness, something along those lines, where it's mostly first person. It's more about the world. I think is part of the puzzling.
I would go with
Myst,
Myst, honestly, because Myst was amazing for its time. When it came out, you were just like, this looks so real.
And it still holds up. That's the other thing, is you can spin up, and if you don't want to play the original, there's Real Myst. There's Real Myst, right? I mean, so it holds up. This is a game. Myst is a game that you can play today and have the same experience that you had. Like somebody new has the same experience that Chard and I had, or the other. If all four of us played Myst, we all had that experience of like, the fuck is this? What's this switch do? It looks like it doesn't do anything. Like, you know.
Well, I've been touching things all day. Where am I going? Like that was the one game that you needed. Like I think it even came with like a book so you can make notes of what you were doing, like in the box. And I never thought of that. I was like, I got a blank book. Why the hell do I need a blank book? I'm so used to playing Doom and Doom 2 and Hexen and all this shit. And then you're like, you know what? I do need this. I gotta write all this shit down.
Oscar's throwing down that Riven, he might be right.
Riven
might be better than Myst.
So why is it better?
I want to lean that Myst is Myst. I mean, it's Myst.
Riven.
More people know Myst than they know Riven.
Yeah, that's true. Riven was better because it actually, to me, it felt a little more accessible,
right?
Than Myst.
I mean, they cleaned it up.
Yeah, and the puzzles the puzzles were a little less esoteric.
Right. So but Myst was like Myst. I would argue Myst all day that it needs to be in a pillar, just because it was so unheard of. Like if it was reaching people like me that wasn't into that kind of stuff, and we were still like, let's fucking try this out. This looks cool as hell, and it actually caught my attention. Somebody who is used to playing first person like boomer shooters growing up, that's pretty good if you're pulling in my dumb ass. That I mean, I do like King's Quest and I did like Loom and but those were adventure puzzle games. This was just puzzles. It was just a bunch of goddamn puzzles trying to progress you through the world.
To expand on Chard's point, this was a game like my aunt and uncle who were not gamers. They got this for my cousin. Right. And then they also played it. All three of them had notebooks for this damn game. I had teachers who had their notebooks for this game because they'd play it on their lunch break and shit. Like
it was very accessible.
This was a viral game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were also, I mean, there were also copies. There were clones of it. But one of my absolute favorite bands in the 90s, Queensryche, released a game that's essentially a Myst clone, but with their music instead of the Myst sounds.
Right.
There's something to be said about the game there may be games later on that are better, but the original being so impactful that it spawned a genre in its own. I think Myst is a game that kind of made a genre into itself, and you have those clones. So I think the original Myst is what I would go with, but I can respect Riven too.
For sure. Yeah. And this is not a, which is better than which. It's what did the most for its for genre,
what represents the genre, right? It's not necessarily the best, but what represents it. Like we picked Game Boy Tetris over Tetris.
If Aliens
Effect,
came down and you were like, yo, check this game out, it's called Myst, they'd be like, yeah, we played it. Because it's so accessible. Because everybody knows, even interstellar creatures know about Myst.
It made it.
Rocky knows about Myst.
They'd be like, yeah, we get that one.
The Iridians know about Myst.
Yeah.
Okay? Just say it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good to say Myst deserves a pillar. I'm good to say that.
Yeah. Same.
What are your guys' final thoughts on Blueprints? I really love Blueprints. I love it. It's also a game that made me actually take down proper notes and a whole folder of screenshots.
You don't get to say this, okay?
No, I actually, I think I have a really compelling point for this.
Okay.
Blueprints is missed with RNG rubbed on it.
I love that.
And that
I think
makes
that's
it
great.
a little problematic as to
Okay.
pure puzzler.
If we're talking about like
And I
Myst
love the
and those types of games in that genre, Myst is going to usurp Blueprint, in my opinion. Like if it was going to live in that pillar, you already have Myst, right?
Okay.
You don't need Blueprints because it's the same thing, in my opinion.
Same spirit, even though the mechanics are
Even
different.
though, even though I ran up against the fucking RNG wall, okay?
Yeah.
Even though I don't think it deserves a pillar. I think it stands underneath Myst's pillar. But I think people should play it.
Way below Myst Pillar, but yes, it's Myst Pillar.
But people should play it.
From the rain, like
yeah,
a lot.
Not a pillar.
of rain.
I'm just gonna mark it red because we're giving it flowers. But yeah, my issue with Blueprints really comes down to I felt the ending was a major letdown. It felt like there was so much mystery and mystique, and a lot of cool like exploring the area and the mansion and all that cool hidden stuff and Easter eggs, puzzles within puzzles. There's a whole meta puzzle. I'm not even going to mention this episode. It's really, really goes places. But then the ending was very much the wettest of farts. Like, honestly, just nothing there. And it's so frustrating. Like it took the wind out of my sails. And I love Blueprints. So.
I'm going to argue that if you want to talk the wettest of farts in that game, it's when you open room 42 or whatever, and it's a pedestal with like one thing on it, and it doesn't. You're like, this is the most anticlimactic pile of shit
It's
I've ever
the deed
had.
to the building. I don't know if I want to live in a building that I don't know what fucking room is going to be the next one I see the next day. That's busy. I want to try to find the kitchen, not 5 bathrooms that get me locked in this place. Fuck this place.
I guess I don't get to eat today. There's no kitchen in my deck.
Fantastic. You got 5 bathrooms and a closet.
There's a reason there's a tent and a campfire in the backyard. It's because there's not always a kitchen, so you go to the tent. That's the game. That's the lore of the world they built. You have a tent. Stupid. Who needs a fucking mansion?
There's a sweatshop underneath or some shit. I don't know what's going on in this fucking house.
You know what? I will argue as many problems as I have. Play Blueprints.
Oh yeah. Good.
No, for sure. It is an amazing game. But
if you're
don't
looking
play it for the story.
If you're looking for the pillar in what would be that genre, play Myst.
No. Yeah, you'd play Myst, and once you beat a puzzle in Myst, that's it. You're done. Blueprints, you're doing the same puzzles repeatedly every day to day. That's either a great fun thing because they're different slightly, or it's a horrible thing because you don't like that. So a very polarizing game for sure.
Or you play the same house for 20 days in a row. Because the RNG just decides you're going to play the same house for 20 days in a row.
The thing with Blueprints is the RNG is by design.
One hallway.
When you get the RNG not going in your plan, you do other things that day. Anyway, Blueprints is a mindset. Blueprints is a way of life, and I'm sorry you guys don't get it. And I'm saying this as somebody who hates the fucking
way
ending.
of life is figuring out how to live in this goddamn house that has 4 fucking closets and 8 goddamn hallways
and no
and
fucking
a fucking
keys.
Patio. And that's it. And then I gotta go home and do it again the next day.
I don't know how many times I can play 2 truths and a lie.
Yeah.
Day after day.
God damn.
Or the math puzzle on the dartboard where it's like it gets harder and harder. Like why are there fucking symbols now on the math? It's just
fucking A.
But there's ways around it. You use a computer anyway. Anyway, Blueprints is a whole other thing.
Computer. It's called going to fucking IGN.
So Lemmings. I think Lemmings is if we're talking about uniqueness and one of a kind. I mean, there are games that have tried to do what Lemmings does, but Lemmings is Lemmings. And I think
I was going to say, if you had aliens come to this planet and you were like, sit down and play Lemmings, they would be like, it's another game that they're like, oh yeah, I get it. I get how this works. I get what this does.
People are blowing themselves up. We totally understand.
And that's one of my favorite parts is after I've gotten all the blockers that have stopped people from, and I've gotten the quantity, I'm like, hit the nuke button.
Yeah.
and watch the countdown.
Nothing says Earth like nuking our people. That'll show the aliens. That's great. I like Lemmings too, because you'll get occasionally, at least in the first one, they will repeat the maps a couple times. But where they make it interesting is they change completely the Lemmings they give you. So whereas the first time you do this one stage, you have all of the powers you could pick from. Harder difficulties, you have like one or two. And you have to completely rethink how you did an earlier stage in a brand new way. And I think that's really awesome.
Yep,
guys, I think we legitimately, I just remembered one, and I'm a little upset, and I think this definitely needs to be somewhere, or at least discussed, is the Incredible Machine. That I feel like that's something that has to be brought up. I don't know if anybody else played the Incredible Machine outside.
I put it on the list in our chat.
Yeah, that game really got me. I mean, I'm in fucking manufacturing, for Christ's sake. So there's a lot of, I don't know if it's just a personal thing for me, but I think the Incredible Machine.
I played it on DOS, I think, originally.
I played it on DOS as well. Yeah.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yeah. Where you,
I mean,
where
it basically like there's a modern version of it called Factorio. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So
you know. Right. The reason why I won't get Factorio is because I work in manufacturing and I don't need that at home as well as at work.
No, everything I saw about Factorio is something I would get hooked on it, and I would spend hours on it, and it just doesn't go anywhere. It just, that machine, well-oiled efficiency, and that's what you want to do, and that would be too much.
Right.
And an Incredible Machine is less about like develop over a long time. It's like solve the room, solve these
puzzles. Yeah,
but it's essentially like Factorio basically took that and said, hey, we're just going to build in perpetuity on this.
Right.
But no, it's like, hey, how do I do a conveyor? It's building the Rube Goldberg machine, right? I mean, it's
cool, like running wires to batteries and then using candles to pop balloons that'll move something over. It's really it's a great puzzle game. I think it's a big part of my childhood and my current career. So it's kind of funny to think about it. I mean, I'm sure many engineers out there have probably fucked with that in their childhood, and they're like, yo, I want to do this for a living. I just did the more manual labor side of it, not the smart guy side of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it deserves a pillar or not, but I thought that one needed to be discussed. I'd throw Tunic on a pillar, personally. I think there's so much uniqueness to that game.
Is Tunic a side shift for Myst, though?
No, because there's more to it than Myst.
Because I think Tunic is I get the crossover you're pointing at, but I think Tunic is definitely original enough in that it's trying to break the fourth wall with the game manual being such a thing. The holy code that you do for that game. I think it stands apart from Myst. And plus it's also the crazy meta puzzle, the whole made up language that you can translate, the audio clues. Like it goes places that Myst
your choices, and it's that whole choice of matter. Like, do you want to pay attention to the puzzle and actually solve the game, or do you just want to just get to the end?
Yeah.
And you have a decision to make on either one of them. And the one sucks. Like the one actually makes you go, damn it. No, I need to do this again. Like I've never played a game where there's so much action in it that it's very Souls-like and its gameplay action wise and the dodge rolls and all that shit. And you beat it. And you're like, why do I feel worse? Oh, because I didn't pay attention to the things I should have. So then you actively solve the puzzle to get the best ending that you can get in the game. I think that's really clever. I don't think there's a lot out there. I mean, you could argue that it's very Zelda and its thing, but the puzzles are so much more important to actually progress, like to get what you need done.
Oh, I think it's substantially deeper than any puzzle in Zelda ever.
Right.
Yeah, huge.
Right.
It's not a Zelda game, despite the look and maybe the advertising would make you believe it's not a Zelda game at all.
No, it's not. Not
like
even.
You said, Chart, you can turn the damage and stuff off. Like that's what I did. Yeah. When I realized what it was, I'm like, oh, this is not an action game. This is a puzzle game. Yeah. I'm just gonna turn damage off.
You can turn off all the combat aspects. You can't turn off the puzzle aspects.
No, the puzzles are still there, and they still screw you. I mean, you're talking about at least 4 Zelda fans here that are like, this is not a Zelda game at all.
And like you had tossed out Animal Well earlier, Chart, and I really do like Animal Well, But my biggest complaint about Animal Well is it wasn't Tunic. Like it had the vibe to it in the beginning. I'm like, oh, this is like Tunic. This is gonna go places, and it tries. Like, I'm not kidding when the biggest freak out with that game is my printer turned on and printed out a picture of a bunny. That's Animal Well. That's cool, but it's not. Cool. It's not Tunic. Tunic.
Does it get you a printer if you don't have one? Like, if I don't have a printer, will a printer show up?
The game will order you on Amazon and ship it to your home.
It gives you.
I got Hewlett Packard outside my house, and it's got
Animal
a bunny
Well,
picture
order
coming
me a
out.
printer.
It sends you down to the nearest Walgreens printing.
Bezos is pissed.
Yeah.
It's got competition.
It gives you an address with a Walgreens printing facility.
So it's just a scam to get referral sales from Amazon. That's all Animal Well is. Yeah.
I'm out of ink. I can't solve the puzzle.
You know, imagine how pissed I would have been if it connected to a 3D printer and printed off a fucking bunny with my filament I don't want. That's great.
So I'm going to change the narrative a little bit here. As much as I think that they are good puzzle games, I would argue that Baba Is You and Scribblenauts are not pillar quality.
Fair.
Yeah.
Baba Is You has such a wonderful, unique premise that there's nothing like it. But like you said,
but it's not accessible.
It's not accessible and difficult as fuck. Randomly difficult as hell too.
Yeah.
Like you could go through 3 stages and feel like Einstein, and then the 4th stage will be a puzzle that you just beyond any comprehension. Like this is a game where my middle child, she would play it and feel like the smartest kid ever. And then she'd come to me 10 minutes later and say, I need you to figure this one out for me. As if I could fucking figure this game out. She got farther in Baba Is You than I ever could. But she was definitely having the frustration of, well, can we look up the answer to this one? And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And then she'll go through another 3 or 4 puzzles and then another brick wall. And it was constantly that. So we both gave up on it pretty quickly, which sucks because it's a rad premise. But I agree, it's not in the conversation.
I think Scribblenauts is a great premise too, but at the same time, it's like
you also end up finding a solution that sort of like can solve 90% of the stages.
Yeah,
once you hit a certain point. Yeah, you come across like the end all be all solution. Like you essentially find a silver bullet for the game, right?
Yep.
You can literally type in silver bullet. That's one of the options. I remember you can. Yeah.
So I'm going to argue that Baba Is You and Scribblenauts are not going to qualify.
Okay. I was looking at this list as well.
Dr. Mario should be somewhere in there.
I was thinking. So you have Dr. Mario, Puyo Puyo, Columns, Puzzle Fighter. They all have the idea of that it's a well, things are falling down. It's that kind of puzzle thing. They're very different amongst all of them, but they're that kind of format. Do we want to have one of those as a pillar, or do we just consider that Tetris beats all that?
I mean, it's a Connect 4 thing, right? Or Connect 3 or whatever.
Yeah, it's a match 3.
Match 3. It's kind of not fair because Tetris is going to lord over all of those specific games. But I mean, listen, and it should. I get it.
Yeah.
Match 3 is an offshoot of Stackers, and Tetris is the original Stacker, right?
Yeah. I mean, no one's going to argue with me that Tetris isn't the king of the match 4 stacker games. No one's going to argue with me.
I am. I'm just saying it's beyond a pillar. It's the foundation of which the pillars are built, but that's okay. You guys don't want to go with the Canadians' crazy fucking ideas. I'm trying to make it easier on you by giving you options, but
here's Tetris, okay? This is everything else.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. That's not
Tetris
fair.
walked so Puzzle Fighter could live. I mean, that's just the way it is.
D&D walked so Final Fantasy could run.
I'm sorry. Okay. Tetris grabbed the steamroller and drove before anybody else even tried to walk.
Yeah.
Tetris made the road so people could drive on it.
It's the Jesus of the video game world. We can't have Mario without Tetris. That's just even funking out first.
That's true.
No, I know.
You couldn't have Circus Charlie without Tetris.
It's true. The ultimate puzzle game in platforming form.
Why isn't Chess Master on here for the NES? I don't understand.
I was going to make a comment about that. So the Chess Master, I actually played a ton of on the PC. I can't remember which one it was. But the part of it I liked the most was the single player puzzle section. There was chess puzzles. Yep. Chess puzzles are rad and awesome to play. So don't tempt me. I'll put it on here.
I did. You all fucking snorted at me. You were like, fucking Chess Master.
Because you weren't thinking of puzzles.
It's still a chess game. It's still a
all
puzzle game.
Is there anything else we really think might stand out as a pillar from this list?
Picross.
A Picross, maybe?
Lolo.
Yeah.
Picross 3D,
Lolo
probably.
Lolo doesn't scream to me like Tunic screams to me. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Lolo. I
Yeah.
feel like Lolo is in the Tunic column
Category.
So to speak. Yeah.
I'm going to shift
I
on
would agree with
Picross because we've talked about accessibility. And as much as I think that 3DS, the 3D Picross was absolutely stellar,
Yeah.
it's not as accessible as the 2D
yeah.
Picross.
Adding the Z did
Yeah.
not make it a more accessible game. The X and Y is plenty.
For those that love Picross, it made it better, but it didn't make
Yeah.
it so that somebody that has never played Picross is going to be like, this is
Yeah.
amazing.
I will say that a game like Minesweeper, because Picross is basically a version of Minesweeper. Minesweeper is a game that confused me until I was an adult. I just never bothered to spend time with it until I was an adult.
I made it
Wow.
easy mode, so you just tap one thing and it literally opens up the entire fucking map.
You're like, I want one mine in a swath.
Yep, and it's all. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Uh-huh.
I still
Okay.
didn't understand it.
So there's nothing else we think is in contention for a pillar. Puzzle Quest, maybe. Puzzle Quest is that game. It's match 3, but it's also got the different classes and attacks and abilities and skills, none of which are really puzzly. But it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, but it's a match 3.
It's a match 3. The core gameplay is match 3 puzzle.
Right. So
yeah,
there's already someone living up there. The god of match 3 games is looking down, going, "I will smite you, non-believer."
One could say
"Thou shalt not worship false idols."
One could say, Chard,
match 3 out there.
Chard. One could say that there's already a pillar that others can stand on.
Okay, all right. So we need Tetris Quest. Why has nobody done Tetris Quest?
Tetris Quest.
Because we already have a Tetris game on there.
Well, no, he's saying
like make a game,
a
Tetris
version,
Quest, like puzzle.
Oh, make a game. Okay, all right.
You know what? I'll vibe code it. I'll do it tonight.
While we're talking puzzle games, there's one game called Titanium Court. Comes out in a little while. Everybody should check out Titanium Court. It's very wordy, but once you get into the gameplay itself, it's match 3 with RTS and some visual novel stuff to it. It's really rad.
That's the one where it's like you have the castles that are the match 3, and then little dudes like attack and whatever.
Yeah, and it adds catapults and boats and hummingbirds, and it just keeps building on cool ideas. It's definitely an interesting game.
What about Keep Talking and No One Explodes, or like We Are Here? Since let's talk like group puzzle solvers.
I would say We Were Here exists somewhere between Myst and Portal.
Okay. Then I would say Keep Talking and No One Explodes might need to be up there because it is its own thing and it takes 2 to play it. I mean, it's hard. You can play by yourself, but it's really fucking hard, especially in VR.
And we still sucked at it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another shortcoming of We Were Here. I absolutely love that franchise. Like when I found out that there's another one coming out later this year, I immediately showed my buddy. I was like, dude, we got another one on the way.
Nice.
I was super excited, but it requires another player. You cannot play it by yourself. And
well, to Keep Talking, same.
Yeah, I
think
think
it's the same thing.
I almost feel like that's a bit of a shortcoming for the genre when you require another player, because there's sometimes just frustration or friction because communication isn't quite there, or you're not on the same wavelength or whatever. Yeah, it's a point, but I mean that's
why Lord Optic and I can defuse bombs in 5 minutes.
That's miscommunication.
Or 5 seconds, because all he has to do is squiggle number.
To me, that's like trying to call Pictionary or Scattergories a puzzle game at a point.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. I think I agree with that.
All right, that's a strong point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when I look at the individual puzzles that are in Keep Talking or Nobody Explodes, the individual puzzles are not interesting. The interesting part is the social aspect to it, and that could be anything you're doing. Yeah. It's a great game though, but
I'll say the We Were Here games, the puzzles are really good and they're fun, but sometimes it's like we'll solve a puzzle, and I'm like, you just have to see what I'm looking at because you did not understand what I was saying.
I
So
felt
we
the
actually
exact
play through both sides. Like we play through once,
yeah.
and then we swap and play through the other way.
I have felt
And
exactly
it's
the same way with keep talking and nobody explodes. I'm
Yeah.
like, flip the laptop around, be like, dude, this is what I was saying. Yeah.
What about Pony Island?
Does that land near Tunic?
It's pretty meta. I mean, but I don't know. I think it's less Tunic and more I don't know, Animal Well, maybe more so.
It's
So
not
you
deep
need
enough.
a printer.
You need a
Yes,
printer.
so you need a printer, yes.
Or a connection to Amazon and a referral code. I don't think I like Pony Express, but I don't think it's deep enough for a pillar. I would take Inscription, his other games, right? Daniel Mullins made a lot of great games. I would take Inscription over anything else, but that game I feel is not puzzly enough.
That's not a puzzle game. That's a card game roguelike. I don't know. I feel Pony Island's
even
far
then
more
it's barely
puzzly
that.
than
It's more of a meta game.
yeah, and he's a fucking crazy. That dude,
I mean, I think
that dude is
think
thinking on another level.
I think the important takeaway, if you're listening to this episode, is go play every one of these fucking games.
Oh yeah, they're all great. Yeah. No bad games in this
Absolutely.
list.
we're puzzling on what's the pillar here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I think in
right.
terms of finalists,
I still think Silent Hill 2 is a puzzle game, but fuck you guys. Yeah.
You're not wrong. It's got great puzzle aspects.
but it's
Yeah.
not a puzzle
You know?
game.
Yeah.
But
All
when
right, so
Crawly
It's not its primary
nurse
core.
beast monster thing is running around faster than I can ride my bike, trying to kill me, it stops
Yeah,
being a puzzle game for a second.
The puzzle is how the fuck do you get away from her?
The puzzle is what button is my fucking gun.
How do I beat her? Yeah.
So
How do I
for for our audio listeners, I'm just gonna run down what we think are probably the finalists for a pillar. We got Portal 2, Lemmings. We need to figure a version. Tunic, Myst, Blueprints, and Tetris for the Game Boy. And I think we all agree Tetris for the Game Boy is also just a block for a pillar.
Is a
right?
pillar. Yeah, it's just already there.
Okay.
As far as Lemmings go, I think the original is it is if I were showing it to aliens, I'd be like, this is Lemmings. Like
The original was Amiga.
yeah, it was originally written on the Amiga and released on the Amiga first. But it came to that is
Everything.
the other thing that tells the tale is that thing has been ported to everything.
Yeah.
It's probably on a pregnancy test somewhere.
Most likely. It's
If it's
Doom,
not,
Doom and Lemmings
patent that.
live in the
Doom and
same
Lemmings.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I know the Amiga version's also the Amiga was great. The music on the Amiga is fantastic. And the music in this is the atmosphere is great on that.
It even has, I learned years later after playing it on DOS for years and years, it has an opening cutscene on the
Yes.
Amiga.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Myst is a lock for a pillar.
Myst is a
Myst is
lock.
definitely a lock. 100%
Yeah.
agree with that.
That's that's a game that I still wish I actually got the chance to play through completely. I had it on the Saturn, and it always soft locks on me somewhere.
Oof.
It's on a Saturn? Really?
There's a remaster on Steam.
It's on Saturn.
Huh.
It's on PlayStation. I think I have it on Steam. I just never
Oh, shit.
actually played it again.
Okay. Yeah, I've never played it, but I know enough about PC gaming. Like everybody talks about Myst. I love how, like you said earlier, Wolf, and I agree, it's non-gamers who had a computer probably had Myst. They were into Myst. They don't give a shit about games, but Myst was something else. Plus just the idea of FMV and the visuals were so much ahead of its time. Right.
Yeah.
It's a standout game.
Yeah, the thing had to be pre-rendered because it was not able to run, like those FMVs were not able to run on the hardware at the time, right?
Yes.
So they had Silicon Graphics machines rendering these for days before they ever, yeah.
You can play this in VR. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Myst?
Well, real Myst is
both
great
Riven
too.
and Myst. You can
Yeah,
play in VR.
real Myst and real Riven are great too. So I think they may have been the ones that they brought to VR.
Yep.
I don't think Blueprints gets a pillar.
No.
No.
I think Myst is the pillar that Blueprints would occupy.
Okay.
I think Portal is a pillar. If you said to somebody, here's like, what modern puzzle game do you want to show people? I argue that modern puzzle game is Portal or Portal 2.
I can see
So my
that.
question to you is, which one though? Do you think more people? Do you think Portal 2 expanded outside of the usual market better, or Portal 1?
I think Portal 2 for a couple aspects. First off, it adds mechanics that it makes it a puzzler with the mechanics, and the fact that it does have an entire 2-player campaign with additional
That's true.
that is simply puzzles. There's no actual storyline behind. I mean, there kind of is, but it's a tacked on storyline. It's just puzzles after puzzles.
Yeah.
But I would argue that the fact that it adds additional very cool mechanics makes it a better game than Portal 1.
And like the narration, I mean, yes, this is the pillars of the puzzle genre, but the narration is what makes that game so memorable, combined with the gameplay. Like and even when you don't even see the faces of the characters, when you hear the dialogue from J. Jonah Jameson, right? I'm trying to remember the actor's name. He is so iconic, and the memes, "Cake is a lie," that we all know from these games, right? The narration is definitely a factor in making these so impactful. But the puzzle gameplay of Portal 2 is great. Cave Johnson. Yes,
Cave Johnson.
Yeah.
When life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. Screw that.
I make napalm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love.
And like how unique, right? Like nobody's done a puzzle game. Nobody's done a portal like, really. Right? I haven't seen that idea of where you're using portals to travel through for the purpose of puzzling. I don't even think I've seen that mechanic in games, to be honest. It's very rare if it is. So that's a very unique game.
I have, but not in the same way. Like there was a 2D indie game called Gateways that came out like, I don't know, 15 years ago at this point. It did similar things. But yeah, it's like it looked like Gyromite, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. So I agree. I think Portal would be a Portal 2 would be the pillar. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Tunic or Lemmings would be the last
they're
pillar.
Both good contenders and very different.
Yep.
Right.
Tunic.
So to break down Lemmings again, right? Older puzzle game, so popular, it was literally on everything. Like from the PSP to the Game Boy, everything had a copy Lemmings.
And like 60 like follow-ups.
Yes. And anybody who tried a Lemmings-like type game didn't work out. Even to the point of there was a sequel to Lemmings, I think, that changed the power-up structure.
Yeah.
And it was ass. Even Lemmings couldn't do Lemmings again. So there is that for there. But Tunic is definitely like the mind fuck, right? The overreaching meta puzzle. You don't even realize you're playing that kind of game until it hits and it clicks, and you're like, your brain just opens up to the 5th dimension. Like that feeling is rare.
That's the thing, though. Like my only issue with Tunic on this list is like when you first pick it up, you don't necessarily know that's what it is.
Yeah.
The puzzle sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to recommend it to somebody without spoiling that part.
We all got each other to play that game.
Oh yeah.
With being like, and all you had to say is it's not what it seems. And we played it. We're like, holy shit, it's not. And that's the selling point, is that it's so not
the game is the puzzle. The
you
game
don't look
is
at Tunic and go, that's a puzzler. You play it, you're like, yeah, it's fucking Zelda. But it's not. It's not even remotely that. And I think the fact that it is so hidden as a puzzler makes it that much better of a puzzler, because it draws you in with other things and you're like, shit, I got to solve these puzzles. I got to read this book. I got to do this, that, and the other. And you could play the game, and like I said, you can beat it as a non-puzzler and then get a real disappointing ending. But then you play it, you get the true ending, and you're like, that was incredible. I wish I had just done that to begin with. But then you wouldn't have appreciated as much as it was. I have a hard time picking Tunic over any of these.
I'm going to throw this down because as much as I would love Lemmings being a pillar, as much as I would love it, I'm going to throw this down. I think Lemmings and Portal 2 are in the same genre.
How does Lemmings related to Portal? Though?
Because you have to figure out mechanisms to get from A to B to C to Z.
I mean, it's a good argument.
Yeah.
And it's not just the portal gun. You have to use the companion cubes.
Yeah.
You have to use blah, blah. I
Turrets even. Yeah.
It's not a one-to-one comparison, but I wonder, like, are they close
Why isn't Half-Life
enough?
2 on here? Half-Life 2 is a puzzle game.
No,
but it's an
that's
adventure
barely a
game
game.
first.
Nobody likes
It's an
Half-Life
adventure
2.
game
I did a long
first.
play of that chart. It was 10 minutes.
Nobody likes Half-Life 2.
Nobody likes Half-Life 2.
Wow.
Nobody cares about Half-Life 3.
So
nobody in Canada likes Half-Life 2, but they also don't like Dr. Pepper. So
sitting on the same
not a
shelf
leg to
collecting
stand
dust.
on up there.
So as much as I would love to see Lemmings, I would argue that Tunic would bring a more different pillar.
Yes. And I think the difference in that is there's not a lot that's like that. That could be in its own thing. Because you argue Blueprints, and then you're like, Blueprints is, Mist.
Yeah.
And you're like, we got Portal and Lemmings, but Lemmings and Portal are essentially the same process. What do you have that's Tunic? Lolo? Like
No, it's
exactly.
The thing with Tunic is that it's very much like there's like tiers of puzzles, right? The first tier that everybody sees once you realize what you're playing as a puzzle game is all environmental puzzles, right? Looking for patterns of flowers and plants and signage and the terrain. The terrain itself is the puzzle. But then it goes into the manual, the game manual, and figuring out the puzzle that's within the pages of that book and finding those pages and lining it up. And then there's that third level that most people who play Tunic will not even know exists. But when you find out the barest of hints and you go look up what other people are talking about with Tunic, and you find the people that made a community and a Google Doc, and you realize the depth of that Google Doc, and they're looking at wave patterns in files. They're looking at languages and lines, and they're looking at that kind of crazy shit. It's almost the point where how much of that is even meant to be found? Like, did the creator of the game say, yeah, this is real shit, there's something to the end of that? Or is this all a rabbit hole that goes nowhere? And it's all just fun stuff he's hidden in a puzzle, within a puzzle, within a puzzle for fun to explore. But like Tunic has layers that no other game I've played has. Like the closest to that, maybe Blueprints, but Blueprints I think is not worth a pillar on its own. I think Tunic is so much more than Blueprints.
Tunic would be the pillar for Blueprints.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, you just answered the argument there. I mean,
the thing with
there's
Lemmings,
nothing
though,
else like that on here.
Yeah. Like Lemmings is great for that. Here's a map. Here's your set of tools. And you have to come up with your own solution to the puzzle. The idea of making your own solution to a puzzle is fun as hell and very cool. And like I said, very unique enough that very few games can do that formula. So I also like Lemmings, but I think Tunic for the fifth dimensional thinking required, if you want to go that far, I think makes it a winner.
I'm in.
Yeah, because it was not just those puzzles. Like the fact, like you said, it led to an ARG that led to a website, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't even know if every single aspect of Tunic has been solved.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No. Like
I feel like that's a game. I feel like that's a game like that developer is probably never going to produce another game because he's like, how do I do this again?
Follow it up. Yeah.
Like what are you going to? He would literally be making a match 3 puzzler just to take a break, and that would be his game.
Yeah.
And people would pick at it because it's not Tunic. Like you can't. How do you follow up Tunic? Right? It's just you don't do it. You don't do a Tunic 2, the Electric Boogaloo, right? It just doesn't work.
No.
Okay. Well. All right. So, according to our pseudoscience and our rigorous testing and debates, our 4 pillars of puzzle games is Portal 2, Tunic, Myst, and Tetris for the Nintendo Game Boy. That's a pretty
fucking
solid
dope.
list of 4 pillars.
I think
the
so.
aliens
It's,
would spare our planet if we said, here's some games you need to play. And they would
Spare
spend
our
decades
planet.
on solving them.
Yeah.
And they find out you can play Doom on a pregnancy test and they'd be blown away.
That's pretty good.
We've gotten upvotes. We've gotten upvotes from the community.
Oh, well, that's
Yes.
good. It's better than the
Good
downvote.
list.
Oh,
What?
it looks like. Oh no, that's just published. I'm trying to figure out what he's done since Tunic, if
I was
anything.
going to say, we've pushed Wolf back down the rabbit hole of Tunic again. We just
No.
took us 6 months to pull him out, guys. He's off the wagon.
The publisher has published a bunch of things, but the developer of Tunic has not
Yeah.
done anything, announced anything yet. And there's a few developers, like indie developers, who I hope to see stuff from them again in the future. Like the guy who does Blueprints, right? I would love to see what he does next, if he does anything next, right? I would like
he
to
said
see
he's
guys...
not doing that again.
Yeah, like he just can't, right? Like it's just wild. Like the guy Daniel Mullins, who does Pony Island and Inscription, right? He's made a bunch of games. I love seeing what he's coming up with, and I don't care if
games are
he ever
awesome.
makes an Inscription like ever again. As long as he's making cool, weird stuff, I'm in, right?
Pony Island 2. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
That's gonna be a
That's what I'm
mess.
playing.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. The Reckoning. All right. Guys, do you have anything you want to shout out?
Oscar's asking if we can get a simulator pillar sometime. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Simulator.
Schedule 1. Done.
the friend slot pillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Peak?
drug
Is that
drug
the mountain
dealer
climbing
pillar.
simulator? I'm familiar with that
Yeah.
one. That's a good one. All right, guys. Do you have anything you want to shout out? I have something, but I'm going to pass around the table. Any streaming, DJ Spinistar, Chard, Wolf?
Yeah, I'll be over on Soul RKX channel Saturday, tomorrow, if you're listening on Friday. Otherwise, you'll see me in 2 weeks over there if you listen on Monday or later.
We're still getting chased. We're not chasing anything. We're getting chased by everything in Resident Evil 9. You can come and check us out over there at Twitch tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Playing those goofy games. It should be a good time. And I got the heart rate monitor up and running, so it should be fun to watch that shit.
Watch Chard have a heart attack live.
I was gonna say, watch the ambulance come in real time.
Yeah, I'm waiting on that one. I don't want to spend $70 to do that to myself.
It's good. This one's scary.
My
This
logic.
one's good. This one's good.
I don't want to die for $70.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm waiting until it's sub 50 to do that.
I want a
shit.
good sale before I die.
I'll die at $25.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It better be 40% off if I'm going to die.
Yeah, if it's gonna
Put
kill
that
me, you
extra
better
40% in my coffin. Can't spend it on a game. Come on. I gotta leave something to my kids besides a copy of Tunic.
Tombstone says I went out on a deal.
The rest is for the copay.
That's right.
Wolf, you have anything you want to shout out?
Nah, I got nothing.
Okay. For me, okay. Let's make up save that nothing
got
for
me.
Tunic.
That was good.
For me, I started a new series, ranking of all Mario platforming games, which is ambitious, I'm sure, but there's like 60 of them. Although I will do more. I will do multiple in one episode, depending. But yeah, I started with that this past week. I started with Mario Land. It is currently the #1 game on my list. It is the only game in the list, but next week I had a second one. So I'll be doing that series weekly. I'm looking forward to doing that. So check that out here on the channel, youtube.com/PressB to cancel. Otherwise I'm going to continue doing with that. Of course, Press B, you can find us on YouTube and Twitch on Friday evenings live, or you can listen to our audio episodes on the Mondays on anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasting shows. Well, that's Amazon Music, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Catcher, all those great, wonderful places. As well, if you enjoy our show and you want to support us, you don't have to, but we definitely appreciate if you want to support us monetarily. You can go to patreon.com/PressB to cancel. As little as $1 gets you recognized with colors in Discord. And as you go up the tiers, you can get access to hidden behind the scenes channels. And if you support us at our Circus Charles tier, we shout your name out. And we have 2 Circus Charles members. Von Beerley, and Cthulhu's Jeff. Thanks, guys, for the extra support. We do appreciate it. We appreciate all of our Patreon supporters and all of our supporters of Press B, whether you can support with money or just honestly like and subscribe and follow the damn channel. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel. So if you enjoy any of our stuff, drop us a like or a review. We do appreciate it. But otherwise, I think, guys, that's an episode. Everybody have a great, wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
Tunic 2, more pants.